everybody. Welcome to Season 2, Episode 2. We are in the most wonderful month of the year, at least next to Christmas and Easter and October and summer holidays. But February is definitely the month when a whole lot of stuff is going on. And one of the main things we talk about is love. Love makes the world go around, and we can't be without it in our everyday lives. But you know what I love about love? Love is one of those things where when we come together as a community, working together to initiate some incredible programs to serve people that are just not as lucky as we are. You know, in Nanaimo right now and all over Vancouver Island, we see all kinds of tragedy happening. There's homelessness, there's opioid crises, there's people just trying to figure out what they're going to do next. And the good news is the reason why we are able to continue and to support people is because there's agencies within our community that step up. And on today's program, we're going to talk to a couple of those people. We're also going to talk about how they're doing their fundraising, how things come together. We're going to find ways to share love together at this fine time. Please tell me, is that who I think it is? Is that? Oh my goodness, Abigail. How are you?
I'm good, you?
I'm good. Happy Valentine's Day, beautiful girl. What do you love about Valentine's Day?
I love giving...
Candy? Oh, I'll take that. Oh, thank you. Hearts are good. Do you make Valentine's cards?
Yes, I have to make 26 this year.
26?
No, 27, because of my teacher.
So when you're making the teacher Valentine's cards or just your classmates stuff, do you still put them in paper envelopes with pretty little sprinkles and staples and like secretly go, "Psst, do you like me? I like you." Any of that stuff?
Sometimes I put them in little envelopes and add stamps and stuff.
And stamps and stuff. Are they easy to make?
Yes and no.
Well, I think that you should wear my love glasses. And I think that you and I should go and eat some candy. Let's go talk about Valentine's Day. You guys, why don't you grab yourself a beverage and stay tuned. Enjoy the program. We'll see you in a bit.
I'm sitting on the edge of love and happiness. Never experienced such a moment as this. So if you got that good feeling in your body and you wanna bring this moment to life, come with me, we'll hit the town. Let's go right now and live the life. I just wanna shine like the sky up like a sunset, living with no regrets. I just wanna shine.
Hello everyone, I'm Alexis Middleton. Welcome back. It's so good to be here and see you. With us this evening, we have Elspeth Erickson, who is involved in coordinating the coldest night of the year. Welcome.
Thank you, Alexis. Thank you for having me and talking about this important event.
What can you share with us about the coldest night of the year?
Well, Coldest Night of the Year is a fantastic event that happens in February each year, all the way across Canada. This year in 183 communities, including ours. So it's happening here in Nanaimo and in Parksville and in several other communities across the island.
What is special about this particular fundraiser?
Well, it is a fundraiser, as you pointed out, and it definitely is aimed to raise funds for programs that have to do with homelessness. Here in Nanaimo, Coldest Night of the Year, Coldest Night of the Year is symbolized by a snowflake, as we can see down here, but in fact, here in Nanaimo, I have to be honest, it's often Wettest Night of the Year. So Wettest Night of the Year, Coldest Night of the Year, is an event that brings people from across the community together to indeed raise funds for homelessness programs, but also for raising awareness for the issues of homelessness. Here in Nanaimo, we are aware that it's a growing issue. People who live in precarious situations and have challenges. And it's true across Canada. So Coldest Night of the Year gives us the opportunity as a community to come together, to step forward and to try to make a difference together. It's also a fun event. It's a walk on the 25th of February. People who are involved will gather together and go on a 2-kilometer or a 5-kilometer walk through the center of Nanaimo and have the chance to really experience the cold or perhaps the wet and really get a little taste of what it's like to be out in the elements on this February day.
How do people sign up? Where do they get to find out about this a little bit more?
There's lots of information available. People need to go to the Coldest Night website at cnoy.org. And then they can select Nanaimo, or they can select Oceanside, or if they're listening from further off, another community on the island. And they can sign up to walk and to fundraise, or if they're really intrepid, they can sign up to volunteer and help out to keep everybody safe on the day.
What is it that you in particular find the most special about this particular coldest night of the year?
Well, Coldest Night is pretty special all over Canada, and it's an opportunity, as I mentioned, for people to come together in community to do something together. And that's kind of special in the times that we've had recently when we haven't been able to gather together. In fact, this year the theme of Coldest Night is called Gather for Good. And it's a wonderful idea of bringing people back together now, 2 years after the big separation that we all had with COVID, coming together for a cause that's really important. So it's an opportunity for people to come together, but it's an opportunity for people from all walks of the community to come together for a cause that's important to all of us. Sometimes when we think about issues of precarious housing and homelessness, I don't know about you, but I often feel overwhelmed. They're such big issues, and as individuals, often we don't know what we can do to make a difference. Well, Coldest Night gives us the chance to make a difference. It allows people to do something really tangible. They can sign up, form a team with their friends or their coworkers, raise some funds, and then get out and walk and really take a stand and make a statement that this issue is important to them and that they really want to make a difference.
For you, Elspeth, if you had someone here who was there was a message that you wanted to convey about the coldest night of the year, what would that be?
You know, I think I've been so convinced in working on this event for a couple of years now that it's an opportunity for people to come together. And though it is a fundraiser and it is a moment to take a stand about an important issue, for me, the heart of it is community, really the gathering together. And it's the chance for a community to really make a difference for something that involves us all and affects us all. So the one message I would have would be, let's come together. Let's do this together, and let's try to make a difference for our community.
And if there was someone who was in supportive housing or someone who happened to come across this that doesn't have a home, what is it that you would want them to hear?
I hope that they would hear that they're seen. They would know that because people are coming forward in this event, that their reality, their lives are important and that they're seen. And that just as much as the people who raise funds, just as much as people who live in fine houses, just as much as businesses across the community, those people are important and they're a part of our community too.
Elspeth, thank you so much for your time and for sharing with us this very important event. And we will be looking forward to this for February 25th. And now we'll be moving on to the Wellness Minute. Thank you.
Thank you, Alexis. And hello, I'm Kevin Wagner, and I'm joined here today with Teresa Ostman. Teresa, we have turned the tables on you. This is the Wellness Minute. This is usually your baby.
It is.
But we're talking to you from the other side of the table, and you're here to talk to us about a health and wellness expo that's coming up.
Yes, I am. I'm so happy to be here on this side of the table to talk about the Wellness Expo. We're so excited to be bringing the Wellness Expo to Nanaimo and to the central Vancouver Island on February 25th. And if that date sounds familiar, Coldest night is that same day. Sure. And I'm a little bit bummed because I can't participate this year, and I've done it for the last 7 years. But wow. This Wellness Expo is on from 10 till 5, so you have lots of time to do both. And the Wellness Expo is just an amazing opportunity to find out health and information. Now more than ever, it is so important for us to achieve and maintain wellness and even prevent diseases from happening. And there's so many different exhibitors, health talks, so much information that you can glean there at the Expo to make sure that you stay as healthy and well as possible.
Yeah, and it's quite an event. This isn't your first one. You've done a few over the years. It sounded like there was a bit of an interruption, of course, during pandemic times, but people are probably eager and chomping at the bit to come back. And
yeah, they are. The businesses are really anxious to come back and to tell people about health and wellness and the different modalities and different resources that are available. This is our third Wellness Expo. We've also had 4 women's expos, and they're always great. They're at the Vancouver Island Conference Center downtown. It's a really nice venue, lots of parking in the parkade, 75 cents to park for 2 hours, so it's a great deal.
Not bad, not bad.
Yeah, and it's free to attend. We do have tickets.
Okay.
The tickets are as a reminder to people, and they pick up the tickets. They can get them where we have our exhibitors and where we distribute our wellness news, Choices for Healthy Living printed newsletters. You can also get them online. It's WellnessHubVancouverIsland.ca /expo, and you can download the ticket showed on your phone. And when you come to the expo with a ticket, we actually make a donation to our charity, which is the Angels of Breast Dragon Boat team.
Right.
And they help women and men who have had breast cancer, and they're also a support group and provide information. So we pay people to come to our expo with the ticket.
Absolutely, and you said people have the opportunity to make donations themselves to that cause if they like.
They absolutely can.
The tickets help do that as well, but it's not required. It's free admission. It's a free expo for people to come and kind of check out all the vendors. And there's a lot of vendors there. There's a lot of education information, isn't there?
Lots of vendors, lots of health talks, demonstrations. We have support from the community. VI Gaming has provided us with attendee bags, so you get a really nice bag. We've also got community support from the Vancouver Island Conference Center, from the Nanaimo Magazine, and from the Nanaimo News Bulletin, and they help us to promote the expo so that we really can get the message of health and wellness out to the community, and we so need it right now.
It is. It's such an important message, and you talk about it. It's a preventative message. It's just, there's so many aspects that people can be using for their own health and wellness and ways to. This expo can help connect them with that information.
Yes, and we need to boost our immunity.
Sure enough.
We've come through a pandemic, and we want to make sure we're ready for the next thing that comes along. And so to build up that immunity and be as strong as we can. And this expo has information for all ages.
Well, it sounds like a great expo. It's February 25th?
Yeah, February 25th from 10 till 5 at the Vancouver Island Conference Center, downtown Nanaimo.
That sounds great. Teresa, thank you so much for sharing that with us. I invite our viewers to go and check it out. And thank you again. I'm going to throw it over now to Dean. Dean's speaking with a guest from the Take a Hike Foundation. So we'll check in and see what Dean has for us.
Thank you, Kevin. That Wellness Expo sounds terrific. We're going to have to check it out. My name is Dean Thullner, and I'm here today with a valued community member who is part of an amazing organization called Take a Hike Foundation. Take a Hike Foundation is an organization that empowers youth in our community. I'm going to like to introduce you today to Liam Law. Liam, thank you for coming here today.
Oh, thanks so much for having us.
Can you tell us what Take a Hike Foundation is?
Yeah, the Take a Hike Foundation is a youth mental health support organization. And what we do is we actually partner with public school districts, and we provide a counselor and embed them in a classroom, and then also bring in an element of land-based learning and really provide ongoing mental health support to vulnerable students and students in need, as well as their families, and loop it in with like real-time education.
So you talk about vulnerable students, so maybe students that are not flourishing in brick and mortar schools that might need a little bit extra help, or are they coming from a difficult situation, or perhaps learning disabilities? How do you navigate that, or who would be able to be eligible for this program?
Yeah, you've got a really good picture of it there. And you know, what we're really trying to do is support youth with vulnerabilities, but I also think it's so important to recognize all of the strengths and all of the commitment and personal growth that our youth go through. But absolutely, many of them come from either challenging financial situations, neurodivergence, learning disabilities, and youth that maybe haven't found fitting places in schools.
So perhaps LGBTQ2 plus kids that may be feeling vulnerable in a situation.
Yeah.
I can speak, I'm from the 80s myself. It wasn't it was a difficult time to go through school. I wish that I would have had a program like that. It sounds amazing.
Yeah.
So what kind of successes has Take a Hike Foundation had?
Yeah, it's a really generous question. I think one of the really wonderful things that has come about from our programming is that we've really focused on two things. And one of them is really looking at effectiveness and do our programs work, and the other is a lot of really wonderful anecdotal stories of success stories that students have gone through. And you know, from an effectiveness standpoint, I think our programs have been operating all the way through the pandemic, and really recently Stats Canada came out and kind of said more than half of youth in schools are saying that their mental health is somewhat or much worse than it was before the pandemic. And in that context, our program evaluation has showed that like many of the students, like 3/4 of our students in the programs, are sharing things like that they're feeling like a feeling of safety and belonging, improved life chances and feeling like they have hope for their future, as well as, most importantly, improved mental health and well-being. And that's really such a focus for us, is the mental health of young people in our programs.
Yeah, well, everyone needs to feel valued. Safety and inclusion is an amazing thing, and it's so wonderful now. I mean, you can't turn on a radio or TV program without talking about inclusion, diversity, and acceptance. And I mean, my company that produces the Shine event in Nanaimo is focused on that. We're rooted in that, diversity, inclusion, and acceptance. And I'm so excited to have the Take a Hike Foundation as one of our recipients for Shine this year. So if I was a student in the school district and I felt that it would be advantageous for me to be part of that program, how would I navigate getting into Take a Hike Foundation?
Yeah, it's a really great question. Most of all, one of the wonderful things about our program is that we're connected to the school districts and we're embedded in there. And so students that are in schools all across the school districts that we partner with, which is now up to 11 school districts across the province, is that teachers and counselors and principals in those schools might suggest, hey, maybe this program might be a fit for you. And then the referral process happens that way. Youth and families that also know about us, often people are in the program and their friends, they're like, wow, this might be a good fit for my friend. And they end up actually getting in contact with the principals of those alternative education programs. And that's how people find their way into our program.
Nice. And what is, so I get into this program, I'm a student, I get to have this opportunity to get better wellness and to be able to have this acceptance and inclusion, but what am I doing in this program? Like on a daily basis, I know you have outdoor activities, you have in-class activities, explain that to us.
Yeah, sure. I think the really wonderful thing that happens is that one, we gather students together in a cohort in a community for the year, and they get to stay together, they don't bounce between classrooms. And so the day for them is that they always get to see the same teachers, the same youth worker, and the same counselor. And we talk about that in terms of relationship continuity. And particularly for people that are really trying to grow in terms of their own personal growth or tend to their mental health needs, that relationship continuity is so important. And so during a day, people show up, there's always a circle check-in where we get to make sure that every student gets a chance to be heard and be seen. And then from there, they get to take part in lessons, sometimes individual counseling with counselors, group sessions. Once a week, we go on out days where we get to learn on and from the land. And then twice or 3 times a year, what we end up doing is actually going on overnight trips and really steward people into that place where they can feel a sense of mastery and really find new parts of themselves.
I love the fact that they work together as a unit, a collective learning, which of course reestablishes safety. So it takes away that sort of fear of being in school, being a bit different. Okay, so you stay overnight. Where are you going? What are you doing? Are you camping? Are you going to different cities? What are you doing?
Yeah, throughout the year on the weekly out days, we really prepare people for the outdoors, and on the overnights we go on sea kayaking trips, we go snowshoeing, we go hiking, and go to all different places and stay in the woods.
Oh my God, I'm jealous. I wish I had that when I was growing up.
Yeah.
Well, listen, we're going to run out of time, so I just wanted to ask you one quick question. If you could briefly tell me what makes this program unique?
Yeah, I think it's really important to acknowledge there's a whole continuum of care out there, and there's a lot of partner organizations and colleagues that are doing really important work. And the one thing that I find that really made me stick at Take a Hike is I think that relationship continuity, and that we get to see and be with the same students and the same youth day in and day out for 1, 2, sometimes 3 years is really important. And that community piece is also really important.
That's incredible. Well, listen, I can't thank you enough for coming out here today. If you're watching this program and you would like to assist the Take a Hike program, you can go to takeahikefoundation.org/donate. But before I leave, can you quickly tell me about the fundraiser that you're going to be doing? Kathy's jumped in here. She's got a secret or something. But what is the fundraiser that you're doing?
Yeah, we're doing a big fundraiser right now called Take It Outside. You'll see the link to it on our website, and it's a chance for you to raise money, go outside, and share all the activities you're doing in the wilderness.
Excellent. Well, again, takeahikefoundation.org/donate. Come on, reach out and let's support our youth in the community that are struggling and need our help. Thank you.
But wait. We're not going to stop there, because you were saying some really cool stuff there just a few minutes about Take a Hike Foundation and the whole Shine relationship thing. And being that I know a little something about Shine 2022, and I hear little birdie talking about the future, how about we swap seats and I interview you for a couple moments. What do you think about that, my friend?
Sounds good.
All right, that sounds great. Start by telling us, are we able to actually talk about Shine 2023?
Okay, Kathy, we can talk about Shine.
I am so happy. I am so happy. I mean, let's face it. Today we've been talking about all kinds of fundraisers, but there isn't anything like Shine anywhere, right? Let's break it open. Let's start with Shine 2022 for those few people that may not know about what it was.
So Shine 2022 was last September, and it was to raise awareness and funds for at-risk youth, mental health addiction. My company has been trying to do this for the past 11 years, and when we moved to Vancouver Island, we saw the need. So we're so excited. This September 16th, 2023, at the Vancouver Island Convention Center, we will be uniting the artistic community again. Shine is a platform for artistic members to give with their hearts and their talent in their own terms. Yes. And I think it's going to be a great show. I know it's going to be a great show.
Yeah, the part is already very secure. The cool part about everything is the ability for us now to start telling everybody about the differences between last year and this year. We had some incredible response from the community. I think there was like 800 people that attended. This year, though, the tables, pardon the pun, have turned just a little bit. There's some new plans on the table. Let's talk about them.
Yeah, so we had a tremendous support last year. I think we sold 50 tables in 35 minutes. Now we're going to bust out and put 75 tables. We're going to switch the room sideways so that everyone has better viewing. And we're actually going to make it a little more difficult to be in Shine. We were a bit advantageous last year. We had 160 performers and the clock ticked a little late. So we're going to shorten the show. We're going to have 16 sets instead of 28, and which is awesome because it will allow us to have a cocktail reception party afterwards. And so all the sponsors, all the recipients, and the community can meet and greet and dance the night away.
Last year, it was the social event of the season. It was the first time that Nanaimo had seen anything of that kind of caliber. I mean, it was LA Fair. It was absolutely extraordinary. People were coming out in costume, people were coming out in gowns. There were drag queens and circus performers, and there was so much eye candy and so much extraordinary vision that went on with it. But the biggest and most important part is where that money went. Let's talk about the recipients of Shine.
So this year, for 2023, the theme is fairy tales, and we chose the theme fairy tales. When kids are young, they read fairy tales, they learn about dragons. Dragons aren't real, but it teaches kids to navigate social responsibilities. It gets them to navigate the demons, and we felt that it would be kind of a magical evening to have fairy tales. Sorry, I jumped off your topic here, but the recipients this year are AVI Community Health Service Center.
Yep.
And they're the ones on the ground. You know, they're the ones in downtown Nanaimo who are handing out the insure, they're handing out the support. You know, it's a luxury for some people to even have a glass of water or an insure on a daily basis, and AVI is there to support the community. The other recipient is the Ladysmith Nanaimo School Board FLOW program, Family Learning Opportunity Wellness program. They were also a recipient last year, and we just had the Take a Hike Foundation on. Liam Law was here, so we're going to support them as well. And really, for us, it's about either supporting societies or organizations or schools or programs that prevent kids from falling through the cracks, but we also like to line ourselves up with an organization that if they have fallen through the cracks, how can we as a community support them?
So we're in the very early stages. You know, how can people participate in Shine 2023? Where can they access tickets? What is that all going to look like in the coming weeks and months?
Best thing to do is go to Facebook page Shine Nanaimo or contact us at togetherweshine.ca. We are taking submissions now. We've got 45 tables out of 75 on hold. It will be the sellout event of the season.
I know.
So get your tickets now, and if you feel like you want to act, dance, sing, or do something fabulous in Shine, definitely reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you.
You know what? I've already got my gown.
Uh-huh.
And so, you know, being that, you know, I mean, I had that gown last year, but this year, you know, I've got another one. I'm ready to roll. You know me and my sparkles, man.
You're going to shine.
I'm going to shine, but it's more than sparkles. It's about love. The purest thing of all, the thing that we live for and we need every moment of every day. Thank you so much, Dean, for sharing that. We got so much more to talk about. Many more coffee chats, many more. But in the meantime, I'm just going to go check in a little bit and see how Abigail's doing. Because, you know, I think we were kind of talking about the whole Valentine's Day thing. How you doing, my friend?
Good, you?
I'm wonderful. So, you saw a lot of stuff today, didn't you?
Yes.
What do you think the most important thing is when it comes to not only February, but what are some of the values that you think that everybody should really think about every single day? Any thoughts on that?
To be kind to other people?
My favorite, kindness, right? But there's a couple. So we kind of have this one. This is love, right? We have kindness. We have another one that's really important. Any guess what it might look like? It starts with the letter R. It's respect. And isn't it important that we respect our community and all the fantastic people that are trying to help us, look after us? Do you know what another important word is? Generosity.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a good one, don't you think? Well, I think it's a really, really good one. And I think that part of the reason why we love doing this show week after week is because we get to do this every time we come to people's homes through their television sets. And so how would you like to repeat after me? And maybe you listeners would like to do that with us as well. If I can get all of us to repeat the word love. Can you say that? Love. Respect. Respect. Kindness.
Kindness.
And generosity.
Generosity.
It is the audience of Act 3 that gives us this great luxury to share love, respect, kindness, and generosity with our community. Thank you for tuning in every single time we come through the channel. Please make sure you continue to do so. And listen, if you like our show, you might want to tune into our radio program as well. Every single Monday at 1 o'clock, we are on CHLY 101.7 FM for Act 3. Great guests all the time. And you can now hear us, if you're not able to listen to us on the show, you can see this program too on iHeartRadio and Spotify. If you'd like to be a part of Act 3 Media Productions, reach out. You know, you'll see the number in the credits, so don't hesitate to give us a call. And in the meantime, I think you and I have had a pretty good day, don't you? Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We'll see you next time on Act 3. Bye.